Do I have too many credit cards? How many credit cards should I have? How many is too many? And is this going to impact my credit? These are super common questions and questions that I've asked myself. Every single time I get like an offer or credit card offer in the mail, or I see how much the Costco card is giving on gas, like especially now. I'm gonna be walking you guys through all of this stuff to help you guys figure out the exact right number of credit cards to have. And this is a video I'm super excited about because it's just fun, right? Like optimizing your rewards while also optimizing your credit. And make sure to stick around to the end. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys how many cards I have, how I manage them as a fintech startup CEO. Hey guys, Jessica here. Before jumping into it, really quick call out that we're Uprise. We're a VC-backed fintech company that is building the best financial plan experience in the world. One number, 1.5 million. That is how much on average we've added to each customer's lifetime net worth. And the way we do that is we take a look at people's specific situations and then help them figure out how to optimize. So everything from credit cards, like what is a right credit card portfolio, how many cards to have, exactly this topic of this video, but also things like savings accounts to employer benefits to how much you should be saving for retirement and all this stuff. The plans we put together are completely free. So to get your plan, you can check us out in the description below. And also please give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. It really, really helps small channels like ours. Okay, getting back to it, I'm gonna break this video down into 4 parts. The first part is just straight off the bat, is it possible to have too many cards? Second part is, how many cards should you have? Third part is if you have too many cards, what you should do about that. And then the fourth part is I'm gonna share with you guys how many cards I have and also which ones. Okay, jumping into it, first question is it possible to have too many cards? I learned this a little while ago and it totally blew my mind. The short answer is no, meaning there's no official maximum number of cards you're allowed to have. And then on top of that, the number of cards you have does not factor into your credit score. In fact, I once met this guy who had hundreds of credit cards. He had like a shoebox full of credit cards. He even showed them to me on the Zoom call that we were on. And basically he has amazing credit. He just manages all of those cards really, really well. And I think he later went on to found a credit card company. So the way this works is every single time you apply for a credit card, the credit card company is going to go and check your credit. And when they do that, that's called a hard inquiry. That will negatively impact your credit score. But the thing about this is that it's very short term. So it won't last more than a few months, this negative impact on your credit score, and why you could theoretically keep getting credit cards over time and only see short-term blips. The one point that I want to make here is that if you're going to be applying for multiple credit cards, try to space them out. So 3 to 6 months at least between credit cards. That way it won't have a long-term impact on your credit score. Multiple cards can actually help your credit. And the way this works is that, after that initial credit score blip, over the long term, if you had multiple cards, it increases your credit utilization. So credit utilization is one component of a credit score. And basically how I describe this is how much of your total credit limit are you using? So for example, if you had one credit card and the credit limit was $1,000 and say I spend $500 a month, then I put $500 on that credit card. Now my credit utilization is 50%. If I had 2 cards, then let's say both of them with credit limits of $1,000. Now my total credit limit is $2,000. Still spending $500 a month. So now my credit utilization is 25%. And so for credit utilization, you want to have that percentage as small as possible. And so if you keep increasing the denominator, that credit utilization percentage is going to go down and down. The key to all of this is managing those cards well though, because if you make just one mistake with just one card, meaning you're unable to pay or you forget to pay and you're late on one payment, that has a huge negative impact on your credit score, which leads me to the next point, which is how many should I have? So just because there's no official limit to number of credit cards you can have, that doesn't mean that everybody should go out there and get an infinite number of cards. The number of cards is different for everybody, but 2 key things to think about. The first one is, how many can you consistently manage? How many can you just keep track of in your mind? And then the second part is, are you getting a good deal with those cards? So the first point is about, understanding yourself. Like, are you organized? Are you good at keeping track of payments and due dates and stuff like that? But I think even more than that, it's like, do you enjoy this stuff? Like, do you enjoy keeping a bunch of categories in your mind and like trying to match up your spend to those categories, keeping track of sign-on bonuses and annual fees and stuff like that? Because it is totally cool for the answer to be no and for you to spend your time and energy on something you enjoy doing instead. And if that's you, then 1 to 2 cards is totally fine. That's the right number for you. And there are some good cards out there that are catch-all cards that are really good cashback already. If you feel like you have a good handle on managing your cards and you want to up your game even more, I think most people fall in the camp of like 3 to 5 cards. Then the next thing to think about is the math. Like, are you getting a good deal? And it all comes down to like, are you spending enough in these categories in order to offset the annual fee? And I think one of the things to think about is like, as you keep layering on credit cards, they get more and more specific in terms of specific categories, right? And so now, okay, I'm missing an entertainment card, but am I spending enough on entertainment for it to be worth the annual fee, but also like the cognitive load of remembering this extra card? If you feel like you have a good handle on managing your finances and you want to up your credit card game a little bit more, I think most people fall in the range of like 3 to 5 credit cards that they manage. The next thing to think about is, are you getting a good deal? And this is around like a lot of credit cards have annual fees. And on an ongoing basis, they give you rewards for generally specific categories. So then as you layer on more and more categories, so the first few cards you get are for categories that you spend a lot in. And so those are easy to remember. But then as you layer on more and more cards, it's like, okay, I'm missing a card that'll give me the best rewards for entertainment. But then, like, is it worth it? Is it worth the annual fee that you might have to pay on that card, as well as the like cognitive load of remembering one more category, one more card? And so that's a question for you guys. And finally, if you're extremely well organized and you want to graduate beyond the 3 to 5 cards, then that's where it starts making sense to follow sign-up bonus deals. And the reason is because the sign-up bonuses for credit cards, frequently they're worth like thousands of dollars. And so following promotions, a lot of credit cards have short-term promotions with really, really big sign-on bonuses. That's where the biggest bang for your buck would come from. The thing I want to point out though is that for a lot of these cards with the biggest bonuses, a lot of them are premium cards with annual fees. And so it's really important like to stay organized, to mark it on your calendar when that annual fee is going to hit again, because you want to just be aware and make sure that you're still getting value out of that card. Which leads me to the next point, which is, what if I have too many cards, or what if I have some cards that are no longer worth it? What do I do? As a general rule, if you are losing money on the annual fees or you are struggling to stay on top of your bills, you've got too many cards. An important point here, canceling a credit card does negatively impact your credit. 2 things are going on. Basically, the credit utilization has gone back up, like you've basically lost a bit of credit line. And at the same time, you lose all of the credit history that you've built up with that card. Still, that is a way better scenario than, say, being buried in debt or paying hundreds of dollars of annual fee for a card that you're not using. And the other thing I wanted to say is that, like, if you cancel a card that you've had for a relatively short period of time, say a year or 2, like, it's not a huge deal. The thing that you want to keep in mind is that one of the things that goes into credit score is the length of your credit history. So the total number of years that you've been using credit cards. And so that is in number of years. Just make sure basically that you're not canceling the credit card that you've had the longest, because that will determine the total number of years, right? And so if you cancel some of the ones that you've had that you've gotten relatively recently, it matters a lot less. On the annual fee, by the way, before you cancel, call up the credit card company and ask if they will allow you to downgrade to a no annual fee card. Most of the credit card companies will allow you to do this, which is a way better solution. It allows you to keep your credit history while also getting rid of that annual fee. If you're finding it difficult to stay on top of payments and stuff like that, I recommend actually completely ignoring all of the stuff about rewards and just focusing put all of your spend on just one card. And the reason is because rewards are peanuts compared to the amount of interest that credit card companies charge. And so the way I do this is just, pay off all the cards and cancel all the other cards, focus just on one card and get that under sort of your system in place. Make sure you're managing that really well before scaling back up. Okay, lastly, my cards, my turn to share with you guys how many cards I have. So I have in total 5 cards. I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the Chase Inc. Business Preferred card, the Chase Freedom. I don't even think they have this card anymore, but anyway, credit history, I'm keeping it around. I have the Citi Double Cash card, 2% cash back, and I have a Capital One Venture card. Sometimes when I mention that I have just 5 cards, I get the like, what? For just 5 cards? I thought you would have 28. So yes, I love spreadsheets. I love being organized. I love rewards. I love good deals. But even still, like, I feel like there are better things to do with my time than just managing a ton of credit cards, because I think it's painful to like have to remember when the annual fee is going to hit every year, calling up credit card companies. There are way better things that I would prefer to be doing with my time. And that's it. Those are my tips in terms of the number of credit cards to have. Would love to hear what you guys think as well. Leave us a comment below. Also, if you'd like more support with personal finance, definitely check out Uprise. I've linked to us in the description below. We put together personalized Wall Street level financial plans completely free. And so if you have any questions about, how many cards you should have, but also things like budgeting or employer benefits, things like that, we'd love to help. And on average, we've put $1.5 million in net worth back into customers' pockets. Other than that, if you'd like to see more videos like this one, please give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and click the bell for notifications. See you guys next time.